Hi there, welcome back to JD Answers. Today we have the Vantrue Hardwire Kit, and we're going to install it on this vehicle. Now this vehicle, I actually have a Pelsi P12 dash cam. It's a rear view mirror dash cam, and because this car does not have a backup camera. This car is a 2000, so the backup cameras were not made then. So I'm going to go ahead and install it on this car, and I'm going to show you step by step and how to install this into your vehicle. All right, the first thing we need to do is figure out where is the fuse box. And then they're usually on this side, the driver's side, and on the right here, or they're located right here. And sometimes they're on the passenger side. But for this car, I was looking for it, and it's actually behind this little accessory box where you could put items in. And what you do is you take this out, and there is the fuse box. So let me show you what we got to do next. To access the fuse box, I'm going to take off this panel, and there's a screw on the bottom right here. And I guess for this side, it's a pop off here. But I think, yeah, it's right here. You take that bolt off, and then this would take the panel off. So I'm going to start that first. And for your vehicle, you could look around, see where there's any screws or bolts, and take those off. A lot of these are just simply a pull down right here. But let me take those bolts off and screw first, and then we'll take this down. All right, got them off, and I'm just going to start popping this out. And you can see where it's clipped there. We'll go to this side. Whoop, that went down pretty quick. Once you take off that bolt and screws, it goes down quick. I just put that to the side. And you can see where we have more room now. So I'm going to work in there. Once we locate the fuse box, what we need to do is use a fuse circuit tester. And what you do is you put it on one side of the fuse, and it will light up if there's circuit going through, or I'm saying power going through. And if you put it on another one, and you'll find one that there really is no power and the light does not turn on. And that's what it does. But in order to use this, you have to ground it. And I have it grounded to one of these screws here, which is right there, and this one goes to this panel here, so it's all grounded. Now, if you could find one that holds the fuse box, use that one. But the one I have for this fuse box is way up here, and it's hard to get to, so I'm using this one right here, and it's working. And I'm also going to use that bolt there to ground the actual hardwire kit. Now, let's go ahead and find out the fuse that we need. There's two types of circuit, a cold circuit and a constant circuit. A cold circuit is when there's no power going to the circuit, in this case the fuse. So when the car is off, the power is off to that fuse. Now a constant would be where there's constant power going to that circuit or fuse. So if your car is on, there's power. When the car is off, it's still getting power. And that is what we want, because we want constant power. And we're going to go ahead and stay away from the starter, the panel, the heater, the gauge. Well, the heater we could probably get into if we need to. Any of the gauges, the tail light, ignition, and the other ones we could go ahead and get into. Now you can look at your schematic on your vehicle and determine which are the fuses you want. Remember, you want to stay away from anything with ignition, OBD, or anything to start the vehicle. We could go ahead and choose a power socket. On some vehicles, the power socket will stay on all the time, or it will be off when the car turns off. So let's check what the status is right now, because the car is in an off position. All right, we're going to test one side. We're looking for the light to turn on, and you can see there's no light in there. So that one is off when the car is off. So this is probably something we could use on the other circuit. Next one we're going to go ahead and try is the fog lights. And that is that one right here. And you can see the light turn on. So we got the fog lights which we could use because this is an older car and I don't even use those fog lights, and the power socket, the power outlet, and nothing. So these are probably what I want to use. But before we go on, let's test this to make sure when the car is on that this is working. So I'm going to go ahead and start the vehicle. All right, you heard the car turn on. All right, now we're going to go ahead and test it. And you can see the light is on. All right, so this means when the car is on, this power socket is on, the power outlet. I'm going to turn off the car, and this should be turning off. There you go, you saw it turn off. So therefore, these two are the ones we could use. The fog lights and the power socket. So we're going to go ahead and work on those. But before we go on, we still got to figure out which side has the constant power going on when the car is off and when the car is on. I'm going to go ahead and pull the fog light fuse out. I'm going to test to see which side has power because this is on all the time. I'm going to test the right side, and there's power in there, okay? And I'm going to test the left side, and there's no power going in. You see that, how there's the light's not on? If I go to the opposite side, you can see the light on right here in the side. All right, so this is the constant power. This is where the power is coming in, and this is your ground. So we're gonna make sure that we know which side it is, and it's the right side. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and take off the other fuse for the power outlet. All right, pull that out. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna test to see which side has power, and the car is off, so there should be no power coming on either side. All right, now I'm going to turn the car on. All right, car is on. I'm going to test one side, the left side, nothing. I'm going to test the right side, and you see how it turns on. So it's the right side on both. Right side for the constant power, it turns on. And for the closed circuit, there it goes. They're both on the right side. So this is what's going to determine how we're going to put the fuse tap in. All right, because the other side does not have any power. So let's move on. Now that we know which fuses we're going to use, now we got to start comparing the fuse that we took out to the fuse that we're going to need, and it gives us 4 styles to choose from. And we don't need the bigger one, we don't need this mini fuse, and there's 2 of them that looked almost the same, but one is smaller than the other. So this is the one we're going to use, and you could see where it still has an open area that we could use, and that's where we're going to put the fuse that came out. All right, so I'm just going to push that in. Just make sure it's flushed. Once it's flushed, then we could go ahead and install this. And we can start installing these wire taps here. And then we get the other fuse that we took out and we do the same thing to it. All right, we have our hardwire kit. And this goes to the power of whatever device you're going to power on. For me, it's going to be my dash cam. Then we got the unit itself. And this one gives you 2 choices. You could change it to a 12.0 volt or 11.6 volt. And depending on what you put it on, it's where it will shut down the power to the device. That way your battery doesn't discharge, saving the battery. That way you could turn your car on. So I'm going to put it to the highest one, which is a 12.0 volt. That way I can ensure that it turns on. Now you can set it to 11.6. This will give you additional more time, but for me, I'm going to put the 12.0. Now once you figure that out, now we can start installing devices and see which wires we're going to use here. All right, you got 3 wires here. And this is your ground. And the ground you would use to, actually you're going to install this to any of the bolts that are attached to the fuse box or any bolt that's attached to the ground of the vehicle. All right, then you got two other ones. Then you have is a yellow and a red. Now on the yellow, it reads accessory. On the red, it says battery. So the battery is your constant circuit. So no matter if the car is on or off, you're always going to have power to that fuse and to that device. Now this one says accessories. So this one means when you turn your car off, this turns off. When you turn it on, then it powers back on. So you got to make sure you install these to the right location. Now this one is a red wire and it says battery. Some other hardwire kits, the battery will be a yellow one and the accessory will be a red. So just make sure you follow these labels. Don't follow the color of the wires, follow the labels. The way you install these, you get the fuse that you need, and which we determined it was this fuse right here, and we already installed the other fuse on there. Now for this one, we're going to attach this one to the accessory. And all you do is you just put them together like this. All right, and you see where both clips are touching. This means a circuit. You made a closed circuit, so it's going all the way through. All right, so this is how you want it, and you see the protective covering going over both. So this is good. All right, you get the other one, and you do the same thing. All right, there you go. It's on there. I hope I was able to show you on the camera there. But this is installed and the other one is installed. Now we're ready to go ahead and install these into your fuse box. It's that easy. All right, we got our fuses ready. And now we're ready to install. And we know the right side of these fuse openings is the power coming in, and the power side of these fuses is the opposite side of where the wire comes in. So it's not this one here, the first one where the power comes in. The power is going to be on this side. So that means we have to install these like this. And let's go ahead and install one. All right, once you install it, it's pretty much in there. So remember, the right side had the power. So therefore, from when the cable comes in, not the first prong, the second prong, the outside prong is where it needs to go in. And we're going to do the same thing to the bottom one here, because this is going to be our constant circuit. This is our closed circuit. All right, got the next one. Going to install it upside down. There you go. We got both of our fuses in. The power was on the right side. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just want to make sure everybody gets it right. Power is on the right side. Cable comes in. Not the first prong. The second prong goes with the one where the power is coming in. Now we're ready to install our ground. All right, the size of this bolt is a 10 millimeter. Yes, it's the famous 10. So don't lose this one. Your car might be different. I'm going to loosen this up only. Then I'm going to get the wire and just push it through the bottom to catch. All right, I got it inside. And now I got to do is just tighten it up. All right, now that one's installed. Now all we got to do is route the wire. Now if you need to know how to route the wire to your dash cam, you pretty much follow the steps that you did originally put it in. But if you need step-by-step instructions, I'll put a link in the top right for you. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back. Now the rest of the wire it has, I'm just going to put it on the side here. This actually has a 3M tape if you want to attach it anywhere. I'm not going to do that. I'm simply just going to put it to the side here. And when I close the this part, I'll put everything together. The dashboard portion. I'm going to untangle my wire and just start routing it up. All right, I'm back in the vehicle, and this is the power socket. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out because we don't need that anymore, and we could close that power socket door. And then over here, you can see the cable's already out for the power because I already took it out. Now what I'm going to do is, you see the wire coming from the driver's side. That's because we routed the wire from the fuse box to the driver's side. Normally, it will be over here on the passenger side. But now it's here. So let's go ahead and lower this rear view mirror. And we're going to connect the Type-C in there. Make sure it's nice and flushed. And you can see already turning it on. It's already turned on, I'm sorry. And now it's on, and you could see in the top right that the the time clock is already started there. So that's how you know it's on. And the car's not even on yet. So let's see, let's go ahead and turn this on and see what happens next. Just in case, let's see. All right, air conditioning's on, car's on, and it's restarting. All right, because now it's going to the accessory fuse right now. When we turn the car off, it's going to go to the constant fuse. So let's go ahead and turn the car off again. We'll take the key out. But the camera's still rolling. That's because it's on the constant circuit now. So that's why it has both fuse taps on there. One for constant and one's for the closed circuit. Now, if this video was helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that from you. If you're interested in this product, I'll put links in the description down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Select all notifications for all upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.